Hi guys, so today we're going to be taking you through Halloween horror stories and how not to respond to negative customer feedback. Probably what I get asked the most in our everyday work, so great subject. So I'm Rob Lucas and I'm one of the business development managers here. I've been here for 6 months now and it's my first webinar, so be gentle with us.
I'm Lauren. I'm also a business development manager. I've been at Trustpilot for 1.5 years. So excited to kind of talk about this subject because obviously it's like the elephant in the room. It comes up a lot. And obviously as we go, if you've got any questions, please use the pane on the control panel to ask anything you like throughout the webinar. We'll answer the questions at the end of the session and via email if we run out of time. So yeah, just a bit about Trustpilot as a starting point. Trustpilot's here to help consumers buy with confidence. So it's an open review community that allows people to share their experiences and build trust and transparency. And that also works on behalf of businesses as well to help companies harness the power of reviews and actually engage with their customers.
So why are online reviews important? I think this is probably, it's one of the cruxes of our business really. It's all about engaging with your consumers. So they're there to connect you. If you don't actually know what your customers think of you, how can you address any problems within your business? And more importantly, if you don't know what's going right, how do you really capitalize on that as well? So they help you to understand your customers. They help you with your marketing to really look at customer insights and parts of the company that are going well, parts that are going bad, and more importantly than anything, they create a real lasting impression. These reviews are there forever. So actually, what you want to be doing is replying in the right way to turn anything into a positive.
Exactly. So now we're going to look at the 4 of the worst ways to respond to negative feedback. So we're actually going to look at real life examples and not all on Trustpilot. We're going to have a bit of fun with it. So basically these are all food related because we are massive foodies.
Except for the first one, which is probably the worst way to respond to a bad book. So basically this was actually left on Goodreads, and basically what's happened is Kate really likes Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, World of Warcraft, so naturally thought this book was going to be for her. And within 3 minutes, basically page 1, she realised that she really didn't like it. She left a pretty damning review, but what's happened from there is, 134 people have liked this review. And the big problem is the author's also seen it. And
he is not happy.
A massive tirade of abuse. I think we've got some real gems in there, but this is 5 paragraphs of, serious comments. And I think there was a couple that we picked out earlier which were pretty interesting.
I mean, the best one is, do you have empathy? I think the important thing to remember is you just can't take these things personally. It's people's opinions about your product, so this book. I mean, the not so good read. So, I mean, the author of this book clearly got really defensive. I think it was like 900 comments later. So it had gone from a negative review, which wasn't even that big, into a full-blown argument, and he is basically flipped the lid.
And it's, this is 900 comments, not just between the author and the person who wrote the review. It's become this public slagging match between the author and the people who have read this review, and eventually the author's profile has been taken off Goodreads. I mean, that's a big thing.
I think it's sort of the amount of comments that he's made and the actual content of the reply, it just makes him look really bad. Like, he's not taking the feedback on board. He's not realizing that a review is just someone's opinion, like freedom of speech.
So yeah, this kind of leads us on to how do you guys, avoid a similar horror story, as it were. And basically, really, it's all about not arguing with the review as such. Somebody's saying that they're unhappy, not necessarily, you're not necessarily losing by saying, okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that you don't really agree with what I've done. Take this really professionally and look at the different options of how to resolve this as well, and just value those negative reviews. So look at all of those reviews and how you can respond and turn them into positives and turn them into a mouthpiece for your company.
Just be professional. I think that's the main thing. Is don't take it to heart. Just be professional and respond. So every review warrants a response, not just the positive ones. So now we're going to look at examples of people that are doing it right. So this is a review that was left on Trustpilot for thrift books. So you can see, like basically the customer's been trying to look for a certain part of the website for a book and you couldn't find it. So then they've gone to the competitor instead. And I think the key takeaway from this response is that it's from a real person. So the customer service person has actually put a name on there. They've apologized for the bad experience and any inconvenience that was caused. So they appreciate feedback as well. I mean, the important thing is you have to thank someone for actually going out of the way to leave that feedback. That's only, going to be valuable for you as a business. They're actually telling you that they've had a negative experience in actually using the website. So you need to take that on board, which they have done. They've tried to resolve the issue by putting in a link to help that customer find where the page that they're looking for, and also a support link as well. So I think the moral of this story is that these things are usually something that can be easily resolved. It's just a case of reaching out to them directly.
So the "I'm better than you" rage post is a pretty good one. It's been in the news recently as well. I think quite recently there was a protein meals business that the owner was bragging about a £90 million offer for his company, and it alienated his customer base. Again, with Amy's Bakery, very, very similar. So it's, in essence, she's had some bad reviews. And instead of embracing those bad reviews and really looking at where she can improve, she's bragged about the fact she's a multi-millionaire. Now, I think David Freelander calls her out pretty quickly on it. But I think really, really importantly, this is social media. It spreads like wildfire. It's not just your response, it's going to go somewhere. I think when me and Laura were talking earlier, that David Freeland's response got 202 likes.
Yeah, and the important thing to remember with social media is it's a network. So if you kind of look at it like a tree of loads of different branches, like that comment his reply has had 202 likes. So it's his friends who are seeing it, and that's massive visibility. And it's not just your small following that are going to see this; it's everyone else's following as well. So you need to bear that in mind. It's an open community and an open platform. And so, would you want thousands of people to see you as this company that you probably really aren't? It's just you getting hot-headed. So
I think as well, smaller businesses are the ones that normally fall into this trap. It's because it's your baby. I get it. If you work for a big juggernaut, that's your job to reply to these messages. But if it's your baby, it's the thing that you work night and day on. It feels a little bit personal, but actually walk away from it for 2 seconds, have a think about how the world's going to perceive your message, and walk back to it. I very much doubt you're going to leave a message like that.
And no one likes to be criticised. So, you just have to kind of take it on the chin, take that feedback on board, don't get aggressive. I think, if you have to look at it from a customer point of view, put yourselves in their shoes. If you went and took something that you'd bought back to the shop because it was faulty, you'd expect to be treated with respect and you try to resolve the issue. Otherwise, you wouldn't have even bothered going in there. So I think the important thing is to just kind of put yourself in the customer's shoes, treat them how you would expect to be treated, and everyone will get on. So yeah, ultimately, the review, you're trying to find a solution. So launching an attack, is not going to resolve the issue. So yeah, let's go into another example of who is doing it right. So 1-800bakery.com have been left a review on Trustpilot. And I think this is a really important review because the reviewers also put the good in there and also the bad. So as a company, the reason that you're looking at reviews in the first place is not just to find out where you're going right, it's also to find out where you're going wrong so that you can make those changes that are going to help impact your growth of your company, your customer retention. These are key things for businesses to make improvements on. So this review was mentioning in that the order was correct and it was delivered on time. The bad was that the cake was poorly decorated, it didn't have a good design, and it lacked professionalism, and it didn't taste good. So, as a cake company, you want your products to taste good. So the reviewer, so the chef Steve, has responded to this review. Firstly, he's apologised. He's given a contact email address for the reviewer to contact him directly, so taking the conversation offline and then making it more personal. And he's given a reason. I mean, we're all human. We can't always get it right all of the time. And I think, if I was a potential customer of 1800bakery.com and I'd seen the response, he's given a reason to say that they've had some interns, and he's apologetic by the fact that the cake didn't taste good and they've just been really busy. So another key thing is that he's given the customer a credit to come back and give it another try. So, looking back at retention, keeping that customer on board and giving them a second chance to actually get the product right.
And for me, as a big fan of cake, the bottom line for me is that I could see 15 5-star reviews, but actually what I want to know is that if something goes wrong, how does a company act? How do they conduct themselves? I want a free cake because I wanted cake before. I want to know that I'm cared about, and the fact that it's Chef Steve who's replying as well, it's a pretty big deal, I think. It just gives you that, I definitely feel like I'm valued as a customer by them. So, I could have 15 great reviews, but this gives it all context. It gives it all a meaning.
Yeah, and appreciate the time that they've taken to give you their feedback. They've taken time out of their day to actually tell you what they think about your business, and acknowledge that, I think, is the really important thing. So
this one's the review with the sour taste, again, going with that sort of Halloween theme. But this is about a restaurateur, by the looks of things. He's had, basically what's happened is he's owns his restaurant, he's gone out, he's asked for feedback, as some chefs do, go to the table. I personally never like that, but we're very English, and we don't tend to give honest feedback when we're confronted with it. So what's happened is he said, look, how's everything gone with your meal? The guy said, yeah, I loved it. But then he's gone home and he's an amateur food critic. So what he's done is he's gone online and said, actually, to be honest, I didn't really like my starter. And at that point, the chef seen red, called him out, said that you're not a man because you couldn't tell me to my face that you didn't like my starter. The problem with this is, firstly, the guy is an amateur food critic, probably has a local following. So the likelihood is the people that are reading his blog are in the local area and probably patrons of wherever they're going to go and eat. So the bottom line is that this response is pretty aggressive, and personally, I really doubt I'd walk through the sort of doors of that restaurant knowing that I'm going to face that kind of abuse.
I feel like chefs already have quite a bad rep for being hot-headed, and that just doesn't make that any better.
Doesn't help at all, does
no.
it? And then, as this is sort of just a follow-up on that, really, is that, following the review, the chef publicly shames the critic. That's the biggest problem that we've got here, is it's just really out there.
So how do we avoid a similar horror story to this? I think, one of the key things is just to remember that replies are public. So if you're replying to anybody on any platform like social media, there's a lot of visibility in that. It's not just your small following that are going to see that. As we said before, it's a whole network of people. So you have to kind of take a step back and think, if I was to present myself to, 1,000 people, 2,000 people, how would I want people to perceive me? And is it going to be this aggressive, hot-headed chef, or am I going to try and respond to this in a mature, positive way? So share positive interactions. You can resolve the issue usually. So ultimately you want to save that customer. And always thank your customers for giving their honest opinion. As the chef said before, he didn't appreciate that person, giving him a fake review when he saw him face to face. But how would you know otherwise?
Absolutely.
So thank him for actually going out of his way to leave that feedback. I think it's really important. And now we go into, again, who's doing it right. So magickitchen.com. I love the puns in this, by the way. Everyone I dealt with was nice as pie.
Strong pun game.
Yeah, great pun game. The food was bland and small, certainly not worth $12.50. I mean, the review's quite bland and small, but you always have to thank your customers for leaving the review, which they have, and they're sorry that they're not apologising for the food. They're apologising that the customer had a bad experience. So the customer isn't always right, but neither is a business. So you have to appreciate that everyone has different opinions. So they've gone out of their way, again, going back to just acknowledging the fact that they've taken their time to leave the review. And again, it's a short and sweet reply. Please feel free to contact us at your best convenience and let us know how we can make this a better experience for you. So taking the review on board and taking that feedback so that the customer knows that they care and they're willing to make that a better experience for them.
And outwardly as well, it's that review is written very much, by the looks of things, for the general public as well when they read it.
Yeah, they want to know why. So they want to know why that experience was bad.
But in terms of the reply as well, they want to know that the company are really pushing. We care all across that message, which is outwardly reaching, so important.
Exactly. This is a good one.
This is strong. So these sort of things have been in the news really quite a lot recently. I think the Daily Mail covers probably one a week at the moment. But I've seen actually 2 or 3 examples of this now. I saw one at a hotel in Blackpool as well. But basically what happens is sometimes if you really fail to respond in the right way, the national press pick up on it. So you look at this hotel, real life Basil Fawlty, for example, but you've got people there that have left a review on TripAdvisor and the owner has gone out of their way to be abusive.
I mean, he's called them moaning prats, and I don't think I've heard the word prat since...
It's been banded around since, what, 60s?
Yeah, since my nan called me prat.
But I think the most important takeaway from all of this is that, firstly, I'm very, very unlikely to go to Castle Hidden tea rooms now because it's made the national press, and I'm not from around there, so I would never know. So that's one big thing to take away from this is that PR is everything. Can bad PR, for responses like this, can really damage you.
So the lesson is, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Another great pun. So these are all becoming very food related, which is great. But you get the idea. It's kind of like, you take those comments on board. And also the fact that he contacted the national press to call his customers moaning prats just makes him look like a prat. And so I don't think anybody would want to go there. So to avoid a similar horror story, just value positive and negative reviews. I think the key thing for this is we don't live in a world of 5 stars for everything. Like, your negative reviews give your positive reviews value. So no one, I wouldn't go to a hotel if it had 100% positive reviews because I just wouldn't trust it. So take note of those negative reviews and try to resolve it and respond to them.
I think also with what you say as well, with your responses, don't have stock responses. Don't have we're sorry for how you feel, here's our contact information, have it the same all the way down the page, because then it becomes insincere. So actually what we were talking about earlier with Laura about having real people write real responses is so huge as well, not just about having positive and negative responses, but actually the way you do that as well.
It's not personal, guys. Again, who's doing it right again? So this is a review from Culinary Depot. So horrible experience, read the title. So they don't give really that much away in this review. So I guess as a business, you'd want to know why. So they've replied to this in a really human way, I guess. So they're truly horrible that truly sorry that they had a horrible experience. And they want to know more, so they're giving them all of the contact details to be able to reach out directly so that they can contact that reviewer or the reviewer can contact them. And I think just in the wording as well, it's like we really appreciate our customers and we go above and beyond to make them truly happy and satisfied. Again, it's kind of killing them with kindness. So, you can tell from the wording in this that company and that business really care about their customers, and they're really truly sorry that that person hasn't had hasn't had a good experience. They want to find out more so that they can resolve the issue. Again, not using a canned response, having human wording, little smiley faces, it just makes that whole process so the customer doesn't think that they're talking to a robot.
So yeah, this is a gourd way to respond.
I mean, what is a gourd? Is it a pumpkin?
I have no idea, but we've been informed that it's kind of a pumpkin.
Okay, cool. That's a grower, that one.
Yeah, don't think I'm ever going to go into it though.
So this is I think this is a really cool. I like talking about how to respond to bad reviews. I think it's really simple. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Like, always apologize if the customer's unhappy. As I said before, you're not apologizing for your product or your service. You're apologizing for the fact that that customer has had a bad experience, and you're just acknowledging that first off. And then you can address the customer's concerns directly. So if they've pointed out, as we've seen in a few of the other reviews, specific areas, that's really valuable insight to you as a business to work out, if you need to make any changes. It might be delivery, it might be price or customer service. So address the specific concerns directly, give the customer a forum to follow up. So reply to that review, give them a contact number to maybe either take this offline or even find out via the back end, who that customer is, so that you can reach out to them. And, a lot of the time, as we said before, these can be easily resolved. It might be worth giving them a call to speak to them directly and resolve the issue. And then, if the outcome is that the customer is happy, then they've had an overall happy experience. They're going to be more likely to come back and buy with you again and recommend you to friends and family. And they might even go back and update their review. So you could even say, look, I hope that we've sorted the issue out. Do you mind leaving us a positive review, or leaving us an updated review if you're happy?
And that's probably the most powerful review you could receive, is the one where you have a negative review that turns into a positive, because that just shows your customer service is above and beyond anything else. So that's what you've got to strive for with a negative review. Just see it as a challenge. See it as a challenge to get that 5-star.
This thing comes up all the time, and I think where we've kind of moved online, customers it really comes down to price these days. It's really about customer service and being able to trust a business. So they probably have looked at your competitors. So what makes you stand out? You're both selling the same product, probably around the same price.
I think 90% of people we talk to say customer service, we're just really good at what we do.
Exactly. And if you're buying something online, there has to be an element of trust there. So they want to know that if something goes wrong, which it often does, everybody's human, what happens in that situation, how does the business deal with it? And this is a forum and a platform for you to showcase that side of your business, to establish trust and actually, impact new existing customers as well. So, yeah.
Sorry for our amazing animations. But yeah, so basically, how do we use reviews effectively? Firstly, we've got to have reviews. So start collecting them, get inviting, because, at the end of the day, if you think of it this way, a lot of people say, what happens if I get one negative review? Well, if it's 1 in 100 and you've invited enough people, you're in business because you do a good job. We're here to support good businesses finding good customers. So if you are doing a good job, most of the time, people that find a review place organically, they're pretty angry or they're absolutely delighted. So what we want to do is be inviting everybody, so you get real brand reflection. You can then actually work on your business from there because you've got a picture of what your business looks like. And the second thing is respond to them in a timely fashion. I mean, if you think of it this way, if I leave a review on Monday and I'm angry, by Friday I'm probably really angry. So do it on the Monday, get it out of the way. I'll tell you what, I've probably calmed down by Tuesday and left you a great review afterwards saying you sorted my problems. So that's one thing I'd say.
I think as well, like, getting back to your point, is collect reviews, like ask your customers what they think about you, like how are you going to know where your business is going wrong and why people might be not coming back to buy with you or not recommending you if you don't know. So feedback is crucial.
If you have a profile page with just negative reviews, because at the end of the day, those are the people who normally go out and search for somewhere to review, and you're not asking all the people who've had a great experience, people start looking at your brand and they don't really understand that, okay, you might do 1 million transactions a month and you've got 80 bad reviews on your profile page. So there's, 999,000 people who had a good time. They just haven't gone out their way to say it. So it's important to really showcase your brand online by inviting everybody.
The most annoying thing when speaking to some businesses is about reviews is we don't want to know about negative reviews. We don't want negative reviews. And it's why not? Because that's your customers they're actually the most valuable customers. If you think about the lifetime value of a customer for businesses, it's huge. Customer retention is massive for a business in order to help grow. It's not just about new customers. So,
it costs you the least to get.
Exactly. In terms of if you put that into monetary figures, then it's huge. So you're making a loss when you're losing a customer, not just from one purchase. That could be over a year. So unless you're asking everyone about their experience, you're never going to know why you're losing customers.
Definitely.
And so on Trustpilot, there are multiple tools to help you engage with your customers to find out that information and also to find out and respond to customers, engage with them. So we've actually just launched this new tool called Find Reviewer, which allows you to go onto the back end and contact that reviewer directly. So
it's really important for that slide where we had the horrible experience. How are you ever going to know who that person is? So,
so it's identifying who the customer is and asking them for more information. So you could even just say hey, Joe Blogs, please can you just provide an order number so we can actually reach out to you directly and try and sort the issue out. And that's all on the back end.
So yeah, again, that's using the reviewer contacted that we've just seen as well. But you've also got things like notifications, so you are going to be notified of every single time you receive a review. You can actually set it to how you want it. You can ask to be notified when you have a negative review to come in, for example. But it's important to just keep on top of these things. Don't view it as an admin task, but view it as actually an opportunity to turn around customers. And if you start looking at it as a business, part of your business, it's just so much more powerful.
Yeah, exactly. And I think now we're going to move on to some unbelievable trust facts. Oh my god.
This is great content writing.
This is a really bad one.
Sorry guys.
So let's just talk about Trustpilot. We are the leaders in reviews, so we've become a household name, and there's a reason for that. We're an open review community. We're asking people to leave their feedback and engage with businesses. And that works both in favour of the consumer but also for the business, as we've kind of just gone over. And so, yeah, we started in 2007. So, I've been here a year and a half, and when I first started there was 21 million reviews. And we're up to 35 million plus, and that goes up by 1 million reviews per month. So that's 1 million new people that are leaving reviews on Trustpilot on a monthly basis.
It's one every 3 seconds. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you go further on from that, the widgets we have on site to display how good a company you are, they get viewed 1.8 billion times a month. That's the kind of exposure that you get. And the reason why customers trust Trustpilot is they see it everywhere. And that just shows in how much we're growing over since 2007.
And this is a global consumer community, so it's empowering businesses and also giving consumers a voice. So that's just powering trust and transparency. And we've become a household name and a kind of currency for trust. Businesses are leveraging their greatest asset, which is that positive feedback across things like their offline and online marketing campaigns. You see it on billboards, TV advertising. This is businesses that are showing that they care about what their customers think, and that is crucial. 90% of consumers engage with reviews before even deciding to look at a website. So it's integral in the whole customer journey. So Trustpilot fits into that in loads of different ways and gives businesses the tools to start leveraging that.
I think from what we were talking about earlier about the reason why Trustpilot has any power at all is it's really consumer-led. So we're free for consumers to leave reviews on the site. And that's the reason why we work as a company, to be honest with you. Without that, we don't really exist. So we want people to really be engaging, putting new content onto your websites, to really be saying what they think of your companies. And we're a discovery and recommendation platform as well. The whole point of Trustpilot is to connect customers with good companies. So, naturally, they will either go to your Trustpilot profile page to find this, or they could actually see it on your own pages. So you can put things like, widgets on your pages to showcase the great job you're doing. But remember that customers are always looking for that Trustpilot seal because they know Trustpilot.
And going back to, inviting all of your customers and showing a reflective picture of your business, how are you going to do that unless you're actually asking people? So it's about making that process easier for you as a business by automating it, but also making it easier for the consumer. So it can be as simple as, automating an email that gets sent out to say, hey, do you mind leaving us a review on Trustpilot? From a consumer end, all they need to do then is put their review content and the star rating, and the review is added to your Trustpilot page straight away. So if you're asking everybody what they think about you, your score is going to be based on, what your customers say. And that engagement and interaction is crucial. It can also be used as an insights and an analytics tool as well. So a lot of people don't know this about Trustpilot, but you can really drill into specific parts of your business based on that review content. So if you're interested in finding out about specific areas, you can really granulate that information and work out particular patterns as well. So not only is this a review site and a review platform, but it's also an insights tool for businesses. So I think we're going to wrap it up now. So thank you guys for listening. But do you guys, if there's any questions at all, or?
I've got a few questions that have come in already, and thank you so much for engaging with us. I mean, one of the first questions is the one that I probably get more times in a day than any. It's what's your advice on dealing with reviews that are factually incorrect or defamatory? Now, at Trustpilot, we're there to really. Without genuine reviews, we don't have a platform. So we have support tools in place to help you. If you believe that a review is factually incorrect or it's defamatory, the first thing, if you believe it's a fake review, basically, because it's not giving a whole picture, we do have a reporting function on the back end of our system. That will go through to our compliance team, who will then reach out to that customer, look into it. If they prove that review is accurate, then obviously that review stands. If not, it would be removed. But do remember that, the whole theme of today is really embracing negative reviews. So if you're sort of borderline on whether you think it's factually right or not, reach out to that customer first using the tools that we give you to try and resolve it before it gets to that point.
Yeah, exactly. We've also had another question come in saying, do I have to share my negative feedback on my website? So all your reviews will feed into your Trustpilot page and they will sit there. So anything, Trustpilot is a transparent platform. It's an open community. So everything is shown and displayed on your Trustpilot page. We're not hiding anything. As a business, you might just want to showcase things like your positive reviews on your social media pages and on your website. So you can filter those down if you choose to, but obviously your score is based on all of your reviews, whether that be good, bad or ugly. So that will always display within your Trustpilot Trust Score, and it will have a link on there to the Trustpilot page. But yeah, you can pull through your positive reviews if you just want to show those on site and on your Facebook page.
But remember as well that if you're a bad company, it's going to say bad, one star review by the side, and then pull through 5 excellent scores. So exactly. People will know we're still transparent.
Yeah.
It's not like we're giving you the tools to lie or anything like that. It's just, if you land on your homepage, for example, you might not want to see a 1-star review on your homepage.
Yeah, and you might want to keep those reviews relevant. So we've got a tool which is a pre-tagging tool. So under a page that talks about your delivery, you might just want to pull through all of your positive reviews that actually talk about things like how good your delivery is. So it's just keeping it relevant.
The next question that I've had come through is Find a Review feature available on the Lite plan? I believe they soft launched the Find a Reviewer on the free platform to understand where, engagement and how it's working. I believe it's about to be rolled out onto all paid plans as well. So there's normally a product release that comes around to you and lets you know when that's going to be. But I do believe that should be on the paying features.
So the next question is, I'm using the free Trustpilot plan with 100 invitations. This isn't enough to ask everyone about my business. What would you suggest? I think this kind of links back to the previous question. It's like you want your reviews to be reflective, and you want them to be reflective of how established you are and how many customers you have. So within the free plan, you get 100 invitations. Now that plan is very basic. It's kind of a stepping stone. And it's more for your kind of one-man band that don't need tons of reviews. So within our different paid-for plans, you have obviously different functionality that addresses different needs, but it also allows bigger businesses to start leveraging their customers. So their entire customer base might be 300,000, 100,000. So it's more important about working out which plan fits within your needs and your requirements. Obviously, what you want to achieve out of that is to be reflective of the business. So you would want to tailor that around how many customers you have by asking everybody. And I think that's about it. So
perfect. And if you have any other questions for us, we're reachable by email. I think there's an email at the bottom there for you. So really thank you so much for listening to us today.
And if you're keen to find out a bit more about if Trustpilot will fit with your business and how the invitation process works, and of course then what you can actually do to start leveraging your good reviews to impact your growth. So if you want to request a demo, please go onto our website and click on the link, and someone will give you a call to discuss. Thanks guys.
Cheers.
Happy Halloween.